Hi guys, happy Friday. So today I just wanted to share with you 10 tips that I have about student teaching and how to be successful. So tip number 1 is don't be afraid to ask questions. This is especially important if you have any misunderstandings or something isn't clear. It's really easy when you get over your fear of, hey, I'm not a professional, and you're able to ask those questions and learn even more, and it shows that person that, hey, I am here to learn and I need your advice, or I need you to tell me something so that I can clearly understand it. Tip number 2, keep a journal and take lots of notes. I had a journal handy all the time, and it was really helpful to take notes whenever I needed them. I took notes from day 1 about which kids I could rely on in the class, which kids obviously needed extra support, what reading levels each of the kids were at, and all of these things. And that especially helped me on lesson planning and EdTPA because I was able to use that information. I also kept a journal handy for whenever I found things that would help me in the future. Like at one of our PLCs, they were talking about the supply list that they would need for the next school year. And I just jotted down a bunch of the things that they said because I wanted to keep those for the future so that if I ever had to make a supply list, I had some ideas in mind. Tip number 3, take tons of pictures. Even from day 1, take pictures of your classroom, organization tips, fun things that you see that are like, whoa, this is really cool. Take pictures of the kids and especially of your lessons. Even ask your cooperating teacher to take pictures for you because this is gonna be so vital. Honestly, if you didn't take a picture, did it even happen? Like, you could write a lesson plan as many times as you want, but if you don't have pictures to support it, it's like it didn't even happen. So taking those pictures is so important, and even taking videos too is really, really helpful. Tip number 4, start your portfolio early. Make those little pages like I showed you in my portfolio to showcase what each lesson looked like or how you made those things happen in the classroom. It's so helpful and so important to start your portfolio early. I'm really glad I did because it takes a really long time. You don't think that compiling all these things and making them look pretty and fancy would take that long, but it really does. And honestly, it's not really something you can do in just a day. So my advice there is start early. Start at the beginning of the semester with collecting old lesson plans and old pictures and stuff. And then throughout the semester, using any pictures or videos or anything that you get and putting those into a portfolio. And also you can make an online portfolio, which might be really helpful too. Tip number 5. Be honest with your cooperating teacher. If there's anything that your teacher consistently says or like does that's confusing to you, ask them to do it a different way, or tell them honestly, like, that confuses me when you say it that way, and just let them know what's going on with you, especially if you're like, oh, maybe they didn't like what I did there, or they're mad at me for something or whatever. Talk to them about it because you're gonna find out really fast that they weren't actually mad, or that it was an honest like misunderstanding. And honestly, they're there for you and they care about you and they want you to succeed and they want to answer your questions and all of that stuff. So just be honest with them and you'll have a really good time if you are. Tip number 6, get to know your principal and ask your principal to come in and observe you. What I did was I emailed my principal and asked her to come in and observe me. We set up a time and date that would work for her schedule and worked for my schedule, and she came in and observed me, and it was really helpful to have observation notes from the principal that I could use. And it was really cool because the lesson went really, really well and she had only positive things to say, and it was such a good feeling for me because I was like, oh my gosh, the principal actually liked what I did. And not only is that good like a good feeling, but that's good to have her know that I can do a good lesson and do really well in my classroom. And also ask your principal to write you a letter of recommendation. That's going to be so helpful in your applications and just something extra to put on there that someone else might not have. So be sure to ask for those things and get to know your principal as much as you can. Even just going in and saying hi in the morning or whatever, it's going to be so helpful in networking and in just having a good time in your placement. Tip number 7, start your EdTPA early if you can. Of course, I'm a procrastinator, so it took me a long time to get my EdTPA started, but I did kind of start early in the fact that me and my cooperating teacher talked a lot about how I was gonna implement it and when I was going to do it and setting up those things. And then the other part I started early was I started videotaping really early. 1, to get my kids used to having a camera in the classroom, and 2, to test out the audio and test out the video, because we had an open space where the other classroom could be heard. So it was helpful to test those things out and make sure that those worked. And like I said, getting the kids used to the camera, even when I was doing my EdTPA, they still weren't used to it after like probably a month of having the camera in there. So whatever, it's fine. But yeah, doing those things early will be really helpful for you. And if you can start it early and get it done as fast as you can, that will be so nice, especially not having to do it while you're full-time teaching, which is basically what I did, and it was kind of miserable. So just try to start it early if you can, if you're not a procrastinator like me. Tip number 8, attend all events that you can. If your coworkers have an event or a baby shower, go to those things and put your face out there and just enjoy your time. Like, I know you're gonna think that it's gonna be so long and you're like, oh my gosh, when I'm gonna get to the end, but it's gonna fly by, and those connections that you make are gonna be so important. So just attend all those events and attend the events for your students. The bonds that you can build with your students are so valuable and memorable, and honestly, you're not going to want to miss out on a special event like a play or a musical or anything like that that you can go to for your students. And you don't have to go alone. A lot of the times the teachers go to them anyways because they enjoy those things. And yeah, take your time to go do those things. Netflix can wait, like everything else, your friends can wait. Like, enjoy your time in your student teaching placement because it's gonna fly by and you're gonna be really surprised when it gets to the end. So enjoy your time going to those events, playing soccer with your kids. Like, do those things and just like I said a million times, like, enjoy it. Tip number 9, try new lessons and try out new things that you might not do in a different situation. I tried out a really fun activity that we learned about in one of my classes, and I did that for Earth Day, and it was super fun, and it was kind of messy, but it was great, and I'm really glad I tried it. And I also did Breakout, which was really fun, and I'm so happy I tried it out and was like brave enough to approach my cooperating teacher about it and just be like, can I try this? And of course she said yes. And it was just really great, and I'm so happy I did that, and I'll talk about that in a future video. But just trying out different things and making lessons that you're excited about. My EdTPA was all about penguins, and that is my favorite animal. I love penguins. So just making those lessons like personal to you, because you don't have to teach all that extra stuff yet. Obviously I did still teach like the math stuff and whatever, but like my personal lessons were very exciting to me and things that I really was passionate about. And I also suggest trying out new things for like classroom management or responsive classroom or whatever your school uses, or PBIS or things like that, so that you can have that experience to talk about in the future in an interview or wherever, so that you can say, yep, I've done things with responsive classroom, I've done things with PBIS. And even though it was only one time trying it out in your classroom, you still have that experience that you can talk about and that you could even put in your portfolio as well. My 10th and final tip for you guys, which is kind of a no-brainer, is have fun. you know, play soccer with your kids or run around with your kids, or just come in every day and smile even though you probably are like extremely exhausted and tired like I was some and most days, especially during that EdTPA time. But just have fun and enjoy it. I know there's gonna be bumps and obstacles that come in your way, but it's just so important that you enjoy it.
Into my hand. Ew!
Overall, like, it was such a great experience and I wouldn't trade it for the world, and it just flies by. Like, during the EdTPA time, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna make it to the end, I'm never gonna get my results, and then you do, and it's like, whoa, like, I only have 2 weeks left with these kids, 2 weeks left with my cooperating teacher, 2 weeks left in this school, and then it gets to the end and you're like, holy, it's the last day for everybody, I can't believe this, I'm gonna be a teacher now, like, whoa. So just enjoy it, and I hope you guys have as great of an experience as I did, and I'm just really happy that I had such a great experience. If you guys have already done your student teaching, please put your story down below in the comments. I would love to read them. And if you are about to, let me know, and good luck. I wish you all the best, if it's this coming semester or in a few semesters or maybe in 4 years, I don't know. But whenever that happens, good luck, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to watch my past videos, you can click either of the video links below. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can click the subscribe button above. Any links to my social media accounts and products listed in this video will be in the description below. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye, guys.